What I'm about to reveal will profoundly reshape your perception of your own existence. The moment you internalize this principle, everything you once believed about the nature of reality will become outdated. Here's the transformative truth. The world around you exists in a state of pure potential until the very instant you consciously choose to engage with it. Your surroundings are not fixed, preordained, or lying in wait for you to unravel their secrets. Instead, they exist in a fluid state of possibility, awaiting your deliberate awareness to bring them into tangible form. This concept goes beyond esoteric philosophy. It is firmly grounded in the forefront of quantum mechanics. The revolutionary, double-slit experiment unveiled a truth that upended our understanding of reality. When subatomic particles moved through space without observation, they displayed wave-like behavior, existing simultaneously in a multitude of potential states across a vast array of possibilities. Yet, the moment a conscious observer directed their attention to these particles, something remarkable happened. The waves instantly collapsed into distinct particles with defined positions and characteristics. The simple act of conscious observation fundamentally altered the fabric of reality itself. This discovery unveils a profound reality. You are not a passive spectator in the grand theater of existence. You weren't placed here to navigate a scripted narrative dictated by forces beyond your control. You are the conscious architect of the quantum stage, wielding the ability to transform infinite potential into specific, tangible experiences through the focused power of your awareness. However, most people misunderstand this process. The shift from possibility to reality doesn't occur randomly or through fleeting desires. It adheres to precise quantum principles that govern how consciousness interacts with the field of potential. In laboratory settings, quantum physicists observe that the act of measurement, which is essentially an act of focused attention, doesn't merely reveal what was already present. It actively shapes what becomes real from an ocean of infinite possibilities. Apply this to your everyday life. At this very moment, countless versions of your future coexist within the quantum field. There's a timeline where you're thriving in your ideal life, another where you remain anchored to familiar patterns, and infinite variations in between. The question isn't whether these possibilities exist. Quantum mechanics confirms they do. The real question is which one you will bring into reality through your sustained observation. This is where many falter. They believe they're passively perceiving an objective reality, but in truth, they're actively selecting which version of reality manifests. Each morning, when you focus on your problems, dwell on your limitations, or reinforce your current narrative, you're not merely observing what is, you're actively choosing to perpetuate that specific timeline as your reality. Yet, most people remain trapped in the illusion that their circumstances are immutable. Day after day, they engage in repetitive thought patterns, evoke the same emotional reactions, and follow familiar behavioral loops. By consistently directing their attention to their present situation, they unknowingly recreate the same reality over and over. This isn't because they consciously desire it, but because they haven't learned to shift their perceptual focus. Imagine, however, if you embrace this knowledge. What would happen if you stopped viewing your life through the lens of lack and instead observed it with deliberate intention, unshakable faith, and profound curiosity? What if, instead of fixating on what's missing, you trained yourself to perceive boundless potential? What if, rather than lingering on past setbacks, you attuned yourself to the future calling you forward? This is the essence of conscious reality creation, and it begins right now. Reality doesn't exist independently of you. It emerges through your active participation. The quantum field, that invisible web of vibrational energy underlying all existence, teems with infinite possibilities. It doesn't respond to your spoken words or wishful thinking. It responds to what you consistently observe with focused energy, authentic emotion, and clear intention. The field isn't interpreting your language. It's reading your energetic signature. So let me ask you this pivotal question. Where are you directing your conscious attention in each moment? Your focus acts like a powerful spotlight, illuminating one possible version of reality while leaving others in the shadows. Are you shining that light on fear, doubt, and limitation, or are you directing it toward confidence, gratitude, and expansive vision? Consider a practical example to illustrate this principle. Picture two individuals facing the same difficult circumstance, such as losing a job. Person A views this event through a lens of scarcity, focusing on financial worries, rejection, and lack. They emotionally invest in thoughts like, "Why me?" and "I'll never find something better." Person B, however, sees the same event through a lens of opportunity, focusing on new possibilities, personal growth, and expansion. They engage emotionally with thoughts like, "What's ready to emerge?" and "This is guiding me towards something greater." Both individuals face the same external event, but they're observing entirely different realities. Person A is collapsing a timeline of struggle and limitation into their experience, while Person B is collapsing a timeline of opportunity and growth. The quantum field responds to both with flawless accuracy, delivering experiences that align with their sustained focus. This isn't about superficial positivity. It's about recognizing that your observation directly determines which quantum possibility becomes your lived reality. The field doesn't evaluate whether one observation is better than another. It simply mirrors whatever you consistently focus on with emotional intensity. This explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance, while others struggle despite their efforts. It's not about deservingness or chance. It's about which timeline they're consistently observing into existence. Most people try to change their lives by manipulating external conditions, but true transformation, authentic reality shifting, happens when you revolutionize what you choose to consciously observe. Every time you emotionally invest in a thought, you're actively bringing it into reality. When you repeatedly focus on what's broken in your life, you're channeling your life force into those patterns, making them more solid. Conversely, every time you align with elevated possibilities, even before they manifest, you draw them closer to physical form. You initiate the quantum process of transforming potential into reality. This isn't mere optimism or spiritual idealism. It's observable quantum science. As neuroscientist Dr. Joe Dispenza explains, where you place your conscious attention is where you direct your energy, and that energy becomes the blueprint. For the quantum field, it's not your physical actions or struggles that shape your reality. It's your awareness and state of being. This realization means you don't need to force your way into a new life. You simply need to become the observer who perceives a new reality already unfolding. You must cultivate trust that reality is not fixed. It's fluid, responsive, and exquisitely attuned to the quality of your focus. Given that everything in your environment is waiting to be observed into existence, what will you choose to perceive next? This marks the dawn of a radically new way of living, not as someone hoping for external change, but as someone consciously shaping their interaction with the field of possibilities moment by moment. As an aware observer and intentional creator, your awareness isn't confined to your physical mind. It transcends the limits of space, time, and circumstance. It is the silent architect of reality, the subtle creative force that shapes form from the field of pure potential. The external world you experience isn't the source of your inner state. It's a mirror reflecting it, and this reflection begins long before any physical action or event occurs. Visionary researchers like Dr. Joe Dispenza, physicist Amit Goswami, and thought leader Bob Proctor have spent decades bridging quantum physics and spiritual wisdom, showing that consciousness is the primary force, while physical matter is secondary. Amit Goswami boldly stated, "Consciousness is the foundation of all reality, not the other way around." This paradigm-shifting perspective overturns traditional views of existence, transforming you from a passive observer into an active creator of your reality. This transformation into an empowered creator manifests in a dynamic, practical way. Your focused intention and purposeful attention begin to convert the fluid, wave-like possibilities of the quantum field into solid, tangible realities. What you hold in your sustained awareness takes shape in the physical world. The quantum field itself remains impartial, a neutral canvas of infinite potential, but your consciousness provides the direction, giving structure and significance to what emerges. In quantum mechanics, particles exist as waves of probability, undefined and fluid, until the moment they are observed. In the realm of human creation, your attention serves as the observing force. This process doesn't require physical effort. It demands conscious presence. It doesn't rely on specific rituals or techniques. It hinges on internal coherence. It's not dependent on external conditions. It rests on the alignment and harmony within you. When your thoughts merge seamlessly with your emotions, when your feelings align with a clear and focused intention, your consciousness imprints a precise blueprint onto the quantum field. This blueprint acts as a silent command, reshaping your inner world and gradually manifesting in the outer physical reality. Some describe this as setting intentions or practicing manifestation. Others call it quantum creation in motion. But there's a critical element often overlooked in traditional manifestation teachings. The quantum field doesn't respond solely to your conscious intentions. It's equally influenced by your unconscious patterns. In fact, your subconscious programming often exerts a stronger pull on your reality than your conscious desires, as it operates continuously in the background. This explains why someone might dedicate 20 minutes each morning visualizing abundance, yet remain stuck in financial struggle. Their conscious mind observes prosperity for a brief moment, but their unconscious mind, running on autopilot, observes lack, unworthiness, or scarcity for the remaining 23 hours and 40 minutes. The quantum field responds to the dominant energetic signal, which is typically the subconscious programming quietly shaping your life. Grasping this truth fundamentally shifts how you approach reality creation. It's not enough to sporadically focus on what you desire. You must become aware of what you're unconsciously observing throughout the day. Those automatic thoughts, habitual emotional reactions, and ingrained narrative loops are all acts of observation, actively sculpting your reality. This is where the practice deepens. You're not just learning to focus on your aspirations. You're cultivating the skill to recognize the unconscious patterns that have been silently steering your life. You're training yourself to catch when you're observing limitation and gently redirect your attention toward possibility. This is where ancient spiritual wisdom converges with modern scientific discovery. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research demonstrates measurable shifts in brainwave patterns, biological functions, and electromagnetic fields when individuals sustain coherent intention paired with genuine emotion. Bob Proctor emphasizes that it's not your fleeting thoughts that shape reality. It's the energetic force behind them. It's not your verbalized wishes, but the consistent state of being that supports them. Consciousness transcends personal boundaries. It's non-local, capable of influencing realities across space and time, even before they manifest physically. You don't need physical proximity to create change. You need focused presence. You don't need external validation. You need unwavering inner conviction. This represents a profound paradigm shift. The external world isn't the source of your experience. It's the outcome. Your consciousness is the foundation, the fertile soil, and the seed of creation. The quantum field provides the nurturing environment, and your observation acts as the catalyst, allowing potential to blossom into reality. So, the next time you feel powerless or stuck, remember this truth. You are far from helpless. You are an infinitely creative being, a conscious force shaping reality through the precision of your attention and the clarity of your inner state. This is your invitation in this moment to pause, take a deep breath, and bring awareness to your inner world. Recognize that your consciousness isn't passive. It's profoundly creative. The reality you experience isn't something that merely happens to you. It emerges through your active participation. Creation doesn't stem from struggle or force. It flows from intentional focus. In every moment, your existence is being shaped by what you consistently give your energy to. not what you claim or hope for, but what you truly observe with the full force of your being. Your reality is shaped not by fleeting wishes or occasional hopes, but by what you consistently observe, emotionally engage with, and energetically reinforce. Your attention is far from neutral. It's a magnetic force of immense power. Every moment you're conscious, you're calibrating your inner frequency, and that frequency sends precise instructions to the quantum field. Your attention acts as a tool more potent than physical effort, willpower, or discipline. Why? Because energy flows where your awareness goes. Wherever you direct your focus, your energy gathers, intensifies, and begins to mold the quantum field into tangible experiences. This is why repetitive thoughts generate consistent emotions, which lead to predictable choices, perpetuating familiar realities. This isn't just a poetic analogy, it's the physics of energy at work. Your emotional focus creates the vibrational signature of your field, and your thoughts don't merely describe your reality. They activate specific timelines and possibilities. If you're finding this perspective enlightening, consider engaging with more content like this to deepen your understanding of conscious creation. When you persistently focus on what's broken, what's missing, or what causes pain, the quantum field doesn't judge. It simply mirrors your focus with precision. If you keep observing your current circumstances as unchangeable facts, you unconsciously reinforce and perpetuate them. Your internal state of observation becomes the blueprint for what the universe manifests next. You perceive your present conditions, react emotionally, and through this cycle you anchor those same patterns into existence. Same input, same output. But when you shift your attention to new possibilities aligned with your highest aspirations and infuse them with emotional presence, you begin to collapse an entirely different reality. You break free from replaying old patterns and start resonating with future potentials. This is the practice few are willing to embrace with commitment, choosing to stop observing what currently exists and instead observing what could exist, as if it's already real. This is how quantum transformation begins, not through pretense or delusion, but through intentional focus. You become the observer of an elevated pattern, holding that vision until it stabilizes and takes physical form. Your old identity clings to verifying the facts of your current reality, seeking to confirm fears, revisit memories, or measure small steps of progress. But your quantum self knows that the only true reality is what you emotionally anchor within your consciousness. When you observe limitation, you amplify it. When you observe potential, you activate it. This is the energetic shift. Observation must become intentional, and focus must become a sacred practice. You weren't placed here to passively witness what already exists. You're here to bring the invisible into physical reality. Each time you give your full presence to what you desire, love, abundance, harmony, vitality, and embody the emotional state of already having it, your attention becomes the key that unlocks creation. Not through hope or wishful thinking, but through a deep internal commitment to observe what the physical world hasn't yet shown. This is the art of conscious creation, choosing to perceive your desired reality before it's visible, holding the frequency of that timeline before evidence appears, not because you're ignoring reality, but because the quantum field responds to your observation, not your current circumstances. Here's the empowering truth. You don't need to eliminate every limiting thought. You simply need to be more devoted to your chosen focus than to your familiar fears. The quantum field doesn't demand perfection. It requires consistency and alignment between what you choose to observe and who you're becoming within. Let's make this practical. Consistency doesn't mean maintaining flawless thoughts every second of the day. That's neither possible nor necessary. Instead, it's about cultivating what quantum physicists call coherence, a state where your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are in harmony, working together rather than in conflict. Think of coherence like tuning a radio to a clear signal. When you're perfectly tuned, the reception is sharp and strong. When you're slightly off, you get static or distortion. Your consciousness operates similarly. When your conscious desires, emotional state, and unconscious beliefs are aligned, you achieve perfect coherence, and the quantum field responds swiftly and clearly. When they're misaligned, you get mixed results, or none at all. Most people live in a state of incoherence without realizing it. They consciously desire love, but unconsciously feel unworthy. They seek abundance, but emotionally resonate with scarcity. They visualize success, but subconsciously anticipate failure. The quantum field picks up these conflicting signals and delivers inconsistent outcomes. A bit of progress here, a setback there, just enough to keep hope alive, but not enough for true transformation. Achieving coherence requires what I call quantum self-awareness, the ability to observe not only your conscious thoughts, but the full spectrum of your inner experience. This includes your emotional undercurrents, your unconscious beliefs, your energetic state, and the quality of your attention itself. When you cultivate this level of awareness, you begin to master the art of conscious creation, aligning your entire being with the reality you choose to bring into existence.